A dragon sighting confirmed. Wild magic increasing. The Gray Traveler returns from the mountains. All this and more, right now, on Lantern News. From the Lantern Radio Studios, I'm Alan Worryton, and this is Lantern News. In the station this week, our station manager's condition continues to improve. Just yesterday, she managed to open a door to the station, getting through 3 locks, and speak to a figure made of shadows who was standing on the other side in the strange otherworldly language she sometimes screams in her sleep. How she knew the figure was there is unknown, but Linda, our station assistant, managed to pull her away and close the door before the figure could convince the station manager to brush away the salt that blocks evil from entering the studio. Linda received minor burns from pushing the door shut, as for some reason it was glowing red hot at the time. Once the door was shut, the station manager proceeded to make a pot of coffee and stood chatting with the coffee maker in whispered tones for several minutes before returning to her room and laying several inches above her bed. An eldritch entity somehow managed to possess the left big toe of our maintenance man Chuck. He's being treated by an arcanist and Hattie the Hedge Witch, and the prospects for a full recovery are good. Our search for writers and performers to restart our radio drama department continues. We've had a strong response and many great candidates, but we do have to add yet another addendum to our requirements. An animal head on a human body does not qualify as a human. If you have multiple heads, they all have to be human. Having a human head in a bag does not qualify you as a human either. However, if the severed head has the ability to talk, that head itself qualifies as a human. These jobs do not require the ability to lift over 40 pounds or stand for any period of time. We will not discriminate based on physical disability. And now this week's weather, brought to you by Bortho the Goat-Headed God. Apocalypse got you down? Are you wondering if anything's worth believing in anymore? Do you think your fellow humans are not worthy of life? Do you look good in a hooded cloak? Talk to Bortho the Goat-Headed God, now seeking acolytes with skills in butchery and chanting. Go into the cave under the mountain and speak his name into the darkness. Any cave, in any mountain, Bortho will find you. Expect rain to start the week, easing off toward midweek. Around Thursday, a low-pressure front coming up from the south could cause an increase in demonic imp activity. Highs in the mid-60s all week except Saturday, when the confluence of 3 planets will block out all hope in the world, causing temperatures to plummet to below 0 for several hours in the afternoon. But temps will return to normal by evening. Be sure to bring your plants indoors on Saturday. And now the news from the wasteland. The severed head of Urgle the Large, deposed leader of the northeastern settlement, was hauled into court again this week to face further charges related to his time running the settlement and his sale of the settlement's citizens to a necromancer. These new charges allege that he attempted to sell the counterspells that would disable the magic sigils that protect the settlement from demons and dark magic. The settlement council informed the inquisitor in charge of the prosecution that he was not supposed to have access to the counterspells at all, and took them without permission. Urgle the Large denied the charges in court, saying he had done nothing wrong taking the spells, then denied that he ever had them, while burning the paper on which he had written the spells. More on this story as it develops. From his tent down by the river, Mumbly Dave reports that the large creature seen flying over the mountains is, in fact, a dragon. He says that he was collecting scrap around the old military base when he saw the great beast fly over him toward the compound of the cult of Dagomash the Destroyer. To quote Mumbly Dave, "Harumph Cornswoggle, her. I was scrappin' out where's the green shirts used to be. Went rights over my head, it dids. Burnin' fire dragon, mistress. Flew south toward the Grey Cloak's place, it dids. Fire in its mouth." In a possibly related story, a wandering trader has reported that the compound of the cult of Dagomash the Destroyer has been razed to the ground, and there appear to have been no survivors. It is being reported by multiple sources that the Grey Traveler who went into the woods 2 weeks ago with a group of rough-looking men has returned alone. His once pristine robes are now scorched and blackened with soot. He was reported to be wandering around the northeastern settlement leaning on his staff and muttering "What have I done?" to himself repeatedly while glancing at the mountains in the distance. What this could possibly mean, the sources were unsure. Local magic expert Hattie the Hedge Witch dropped by the studio this week to warn us of a general rise in the level of wild magic in the area. She explained that wild magic, unlike the controlled type produced by our local magic users, is unpredictable and can have unexpected effects, even on those who are not using magic. As for a reason for the increase in wild magic, Hattie states that there are very few reasons for an increase, and the most likely would be the opening of a gateway to a dark dimension. She further asked that we warn our listeners to stay out of areas that are clearly under the influence of wild magic. The easiest ways to identify an area with a high wild magic field is to look for talking trees where there previously weren't any, purple sparks in the hair or between the fingers, plants that cry when you step on them, and things transforming into different things. So please take care when you're out and about, listeners. I'm Alan Worryton, and that's the news for this week. And remember, no matter how charming their words or what they promise you, demons make terrible allies. Stay safe out there, survivors. Lantern News is a Lantern Audio Works production. It is written and performed by N.J. Sullivan and produced by N.J. Sullivan and Celosia Crane. To hear all our shows and support us on Patreon, visit lanternaudioworks.com.